All right,
Last
so
time on the Power Within Shadow Dragon Association. Just kidding. We're actually going to skip the recap until next session. And we're just going to discuss the implementation of Calvin's character to the SDA. Ta-da.
and some backstory connections.
That's right. So first on my list was which character is Calvin going to choose. He has made 4 different builds, and you sent us 2 so far.
Correct. I'm in the process of continuing to send the rest.
Copy that. So the first one was a gnome cleric monk, the Healy boy. Is there anything interesting about him, or is it just kind of general healing guy?
Really, just a souped-up general healing guy.
Yeah.
Sort of what I'm
And I
seeing.
mean, Yuko
Yeah.
can create the next level of elixirs of life now. So
Yeah, and I can create some elixirs of life, just the regular. Until I
healing
learn
for the
from
most part
Yuko.
covered. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. So I think for the most part, healing is covered. Because
That and
say
I'd be
that
too
now.
worried about.
Sure.
Not only but it's because we'll have like everybody. If we have Yuko's elixirs, I help out with that. We also have my heals. I got about 4 heals ready, and then Toby should have, I think, like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Toby's spells were.
I
not
thought
set
he
up
had
when I
like
looked at
1
it.
heal.
He can
I have a heal.
cast as many as
Yeah.
as you, I believe.
But he has to choose it. That's what I'm saying. So like right
Oh,
now
yeah,
he
he's
has
Summoner.
Protector Tree, Healed, and Pummeling Rubble, which are
Summoner,
pretty
for
good.
sure. Yeah.
Um,
You should have a lot more spells, Toby. On your sorcerer side. You should have a gang of spells, I think, at this point.
Sorcerer, for some reason, second level and
No,
third
you
level
have
keep
third
coming
level
up as
spells.
I know, but they keep coming up as for charm.
just I think it's because you have it.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the
your
word?
favorite spell or
Special
whatever, signature
yeah.
spell.
Signature spell. That just means you can upcast it. That's all that is.
I don't want that as my signature spell.
But I think you
Probably
should
has to.
have at least 3 or 2. Like you should have. I want to say like 3 or 4
What are we, level 5?
for level
So-
2.
So I think at level 5 he should have, I believe, 4.
Hold on. I think I
Second
have
3
this
level
stuff.
3s, 4 level 4s, and 4 level 1s per
Yeah,
day at least. I don't know what
There
the
you
repertoire is.
I think repertoire would be the summoner.
Because
has
Summoner,
repertoire.
he only has a set amount. We have 2 second levels and 2 third levels.
That's right. Yeah. So the first
So
level is
he-
not applicable anymore.
Yeah. But but what you can do is now that heal can be now a second level or a third level, or you can have one for both.
Right.
You can do that, yeah.
Are you on my character? Did you see what I did?
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
I hit
right now.
you hit the toggle signature spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just then add another second level spell or no?
You'll want
Like where it says second level, 2 out of 2. Does that mean how many spell slots you have?
yes. So
Okay.
even if you have like 3 specific spells in second level, you can only cast second
second
level
level
spells
spell.
twice.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, hold on one second. I gotta go get my brother. He went upstairs.
That's fine. So that's the other thing. We'll get Toby's character spells right.
Yeah, that's the other thing we'll be doing this session, making sure Toby's character's legit. And then so this second one, the second character, Calvin, you want to walk us through what this dude's about?
Which one was the second one that I sent?
Human champion barbarian.
Trident thrower.
Yes. So this one more fleshed out background. So my thoughts on that was he was actually raised by dwarves. So, and he was actually tasked with being a guardian of a priestess, and as he grew more into that role, he started to grow more into his faith, and so he kind of uses his rage to fulfill his role as a champion, and that's kind of how that came about as the barbarian champion with some dwarven tendencies.
Is that another Umbaso relative that I'm hearing?
So I did talk to him about it, and I was like, it'd be kind of cool if like there was a connection between the dwarven priestess and the Umbaso tribe, and that's how me and him met.
I dig it, because it doesn't necessarily have to be like. I was gonna joke, like, is this the last orphan that Dakonga raised? Like, but it doesn't have to be like that detailed, right? But like some sort of at least little connection, and then that's kind of how we could bring him into the group. I could see that.
So
Yeah,
from
it would definitely be
just a-
cool.
from just a roleplay angle, like it seems like he's like a good character. Like, how's he gonna fit in with a criminal organization?
I mean, it could be an evil priestess.
Yeah, but we're not like evil either.
Ellen,
We operate
Expertise?
firmly in the gray area. We're not
Um,
out to like just bloodthirstily kill people, but we will end you if you're in our way.
I mean, he is a barbarian, so I think he's with that.
You could be a holy. You could be a holy rager, bro.
Yeah, I was just looking at the because he just had the tenets of good, so I thought he was a good.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I be forgetting about the damn champion tenets and shit.
Not only that, I do wish they would add a Grey Guard champion or something similar to that, to where there is like the
Well, I mean,
guy in
that's
the
sort of the other one, right? Like the Redeemer.
I think Redeemer or Liberator. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
behind
still
that.
under the tenets of good.
And there's literally no
In between,
There's no
so-
neutral
yeah, no.
one. It's just like you can
Yeah.
be lawful neutral or chaotic good, but you can't just be like I'm
Just a
lawful
dude.
neutral and all y'all are stupid.
Right. Now, dead ass, I do like the Leshy Druid Ranger. Like this one's making me feel some type of, especially since you got like legit resistances too. Electricity, fire, and poison. Like that's savage. And
Yeah.
you're a back shooter, and you can heal. You still got good spells with the druid. You pretty much can give cover with. You can make somebody enlarged.
Yep. I like that character a lot.
I'm super digging this one. What's your last one? You're.
I am trying to send that right now. My tablet is not cooperating with me.
Cloud Gazer. That's kind of cool too. And he's still pretty fast. 30. Well, for
Actually, his speed is a 40 because the ranger feat, I think it's like second or fourth level where you take your terrain. I put
Yeah.
plain, so I get a +10 bonus. It just doesn't pop up on there, so his speed is like 40.
Well, that's if we're in the terrain. So
No, that's just if I'm on plain ground. If you click on it, it's just like if you're on the ground, your speed is +10.
yeah, you gain +10 bonus to your land speed. But I thought that's what
It
you have
says
to
while
have
in your
to be
favored
within-
terrain.
You have to be within the terrain. If we're in the city, that's not going to be good for you.
I mean,
Or
it's still a
forest,
30
or the
speed.
desert. Yeah.
For now.
That would involve me needing to figure out when we're in plains. Which isn't impossible. I'm trying to think if we've gone in like what I would consider plains for any of our monster hunts. Like the last few have been more forest shit.
I think that's biased on your part. You like the forest.
I mean,
Forest Mountain or Underground. That one would probably be the best one for you, Forest Mountain or Underground. Or if we can custom make like an urban.
It's adaptable, so
Hell yeah.
just select the one that works best for the campaign. That makes more sense.
Because would you, if we did something like an urban one, would that also work for the towers?
Hell no. The fuck?
No,
No.
just asking.
How is a city the same as a tower?
It's man built. That's the reason why I'm.
So
I'm
it's like
putting
whenever I'm in a
caveat.
building, I just get 10 more speed.
That's what I'm going with.
Hell no.
I'm just
I could
saying. There's one that
potentially-
literally gives you 3 different terrains: forest, mountains, and underground.
Yeah.
So-
But like in my head, if I'm like, okay, if we even bullshit into some urban stuff, it's like, all right, I get 10 more foot speed because I am very familiar with how streets are constructed and the people in the streets and the market and the sellers, and I know how to quickly maneuver through them, right? Even though that doesn't exactly make sense. It's like, how do you actually get faster? You know? That's the thing that'd be confusing. It's like, I could see if it's like, I have favorite terrain here, so difficult terrain in the urban doesn't actually count, you know?
Whatever makes you feel good, man. It don't matter to me. Eclectic obsession. What is that?
I mean, but to be honest, like, yeah, like, we've been in Forest a gang, right? So you could choose the forest one, and we're likely to be fighting monsters in the forest. So you get 10 foot speed on that. I don't really think those fights you need too much speed, though, because usually you guys surround them pretty quickly, and for the most part, the ones that we've been fighting, they don't move too much. Although maybe they will. Motherfucking Anjanath might run y'all over,
Shit.
as he's prone to do.
Unless we have a fucking tank.
The last one that I just sent is a gnome bard rogue, specializing more in like hitting, like debuffing enemies. Like he has Bane, he has
He still also has
high
heal.
level of fear, stuff like that. So
The fact that you got soothe, which is awesome. So
and then he can also he has triple time, which is a focus spell, so like he can boost up everybody's speed. He can still use Inspiring Courage and everything else. So Impending Doom is a 6 spell.
my top 2 are the Leshy and the Bard.
Yeah, we don't actually have a rogue in our criminal gang.
I know.
So
But
you guys
honestly,
haven't had to
we-
like pick locks, but
And that's what I was about to say. We haven't had that situation.
yeah,
yet.
I conveniently haven't brought that up, but
I mean, Yugo's got these tools and
oh,
good.
does she?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hadn't,
she's
I
got
hadn't
Thievery.
realized.
That's why I switched off a rogue, because it was kind of pointless.
Yeah. Yeah, there
Sounds like
haven't
sneak
been a
attack.
bunch, like just how I've sort of set up the Power Within. It's just kind of like story unlocks versus like open world go pick locks on shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he's still good for other things. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
he's trained in at least every skill.
Everything.
He's a knowledge guy. He's a cultist.
Dude, rogues are nasty, man. They're
Rogues
one of
are
my favorite
nasty.
like dual classes. Like I don't like them hugely as like a primary, but when you get to dual class, they are super powerful.
I honestly think like the Magus Rogue combination is just chef's kiss for me.
So yeah, these are the 4 builds. What Chemo's saying he likes the Leshy and the Rogue. What's everybody else thinking? How we feeling?
I like
yeah,
the Leshy and the Human. Those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, the Leshy and the Champion, for sure, are my top 2.
Maggie?
Maggie?
Mic check.
She has no opinion.
Copy that. Kyle.
Went to go get his brother, or is he back?
No, I'm back. I mean, I can't look at them. I don't have a way to pull them up
God
on my phone because
Damn
I
it, God,
I have an
with your
iPhone.
non-Android ass.
I mean, I was just
Leave me
copying them
alone.
over. Here.
Leave me alone. But from
I'm
what,
just messing with
what,
you.
what I've heard, I like the champion. We discussed him doing a champion last week, and I still like the champion idea.
And he would be an actual tank, not a dodge tank like Yuko or Dog's not really a tank,
But he be eating damage though.
I mean, he can
That's true.
eat. He's a I guess health tank if you want to call him that. But
Yeah.
in terms of avoiding damage, he can't really do it.
I guess we missed that Maggie left.
It's fine.
Did
I didn't think
did you hear any build that excited you, Maggie?
I was sad that the champion idea won't work
Why won't it work?
because he can't be a good guy.
I mean, that's
Well, he can essentially change that style.
yeah. If we want to say, it's
We can do
somewhere
whatever we
more in
want.
the
We can-
middle. That's all just RP. It's not even really like mechanical shit.
Yeah, we can. It's fantasy. We can do what we want with it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, with that one though, even the priestess could be kind of like a gray priestess, kind of
Yeah,
like
I mean,
how
it's basically just
pretty much
choose
how
a neutral
Dikonga is
lady.
moving. Yeah, Dikonga is moving into where the spirituality is everything is gray, and then he follows a certain standard, but he's not gonna force anybody into it, and I'm pretty sure Champion's the same way.
And
And
just
what-
to actually make y'all aware for that champion, I did take the Rage Thrower. So, I mean, he's a melee combatant, but he does have a range of 20 feet with that trident with the return woman on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that divine thing, divine ally is nasty, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew it. I love it too.
And I took Rage Thrower so I can add my
Rage damage to it.
rage damage to it when I throw it. And that also helps with the Retribution Strike because it's anybody within 15 feet.
Oh yeah. Is
But
there
Does
a
it actually let you do that though? Because doesn't it say it has to be a melee strike?
You can take the feat.
No, the range
Um,
reprisal allows you to make it into a
Yeah, I'm about to say if you look at the first level feat range reprisal,
Gotcha.
that's what lets you.
which is dope.
Yeah, I really like the champion build.
Well, now that you talk about it, I like it too.
So we
This
got
is like the third time I've heard about it, so I was already like
he's already sold.
I was already sold on it when he told me about it the first time.
But I still do like the Leshy for the range distance character too. Not gonna lie. But
That's just
So
and
the-
it has massive secondary heals. That's part of the other reason. So
Yeah, I mean,
and
They're
the
all
reason
useful.
why I'm sorry. Go for it.
no, I was just saying they're all useful. That was all I was saying.
Yeah, no, big facts. They are all useful, and the only reason why I would say we don't need the upfront tank is because we have Yuko, Dog, Maxi, and then Obani. Literally, we have 4 people in the front.
Don't forget Exodia.
Yeah, and fucking
Oh, and then
Exodia,
now-
so we're
and
gonna
then
have
now-
5 people up front.
And then now the meat of Exodia.
I mean, Maxi and Exodia may be actual tanks.
Well, and
Oh.
I didn't realize this too, but since we hit level 5, Maxi actually now he gets unarmed expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
So-
only counter is that the champion build is very good at. I think this one is good at mitigating. No.
No.
No, this one.
This
no,
one's
he turns-
they will hit you. The Redeemer, I think the one that Travis kind of made, the Redeemer,
Yeah,
was it the
that's
Redeemer,
not-
Travis?
Yeah, the Redeemer one.
Where it'll eat up damage.
Doesn't this still also eat some damage? Or
Yeah,
am
that's
I
what I
tripping?
was thinking it did. Maybe
Nah. The ally gains resistance if you did Retributive Strike. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah. So there's still
yeah,
a
so
bit
they-
of mitigation for sure.
yeah, that's 7 damage mitigation.
Which ain't nothing, but my whole thing, like the reason why I sort of got put off of the champion just for myself was like I could mitigate 7 damage, or at this same fucking level I could heal someone for like 3d10 plus 24.
Right. You can put them back
You
to
know?
like
And I was
max.
just like, why would I?
That's where I'm at.
And like the rest of the champion class just didn't do enough to excite me to even like. I mean, it's still cool, like a reaction that usually, you know, some builds don't use a reaction every turn, right? And this one gets to have a free attack and also mitigate some damage. You know.
Yeah, and if
So it's-
if you got a Leshy at a distance, and then it can also heal. Not saying that the Leshy really matters. A Ranger at a distance, and then they can also heal because they're druids. To me, that just seems more beneficial towards the group.
And it's a medic, I believe.
And it's a medic. But we can take it to a vote.
Yeah, I think
And
they
then
all, I mean,
it really all comes down to what you want, anyways, CJ.
so I
I was
think
about to say, I don't even know if I want to vote. Like, I want CJ to pick what he wants. Cal should play what he wants. I think they all have the potential to be cool. I may have missed, like, how do
See,
we
that's
some of these-
that's the dilemma, Maggie. That's
Yeah,
why
I'll-
Travis
I'll-
tasked me with making 4 characters, because I can't choose.
yeah, it's like I know he doesn't care. Like he builds all of them, and they're all his special children. But like, you know, I don't think he like. So my thing is, I'm hearing lots of champion. I'm hearing lots of Leshy, right? Calvin, is there like a way that you lean for like role playing these two, where you're like, I really want to dig into the champion vibe, or I really want to dig into the druid? I could see, like, obviously with the champion, if you go with the connections that, you know, that this is a human, but he was raised by dwarves, you can obviously get to where Dakonga knows him via, you know, the clans over in Dwarven Parish land. If you go Leshy Druid, there's
Like
probably
Dog
a
would know
bit less people. Like, yeah, maybe Dog knows that in that realm potentially.
And
you
maybe
know
even
who could
potentially
have it?
Toby.
I was gonna say Pharaoh, because the druids and like the connection potentially with the
Well, that's the
the
thing too,
towers.
right? Like potentially we can also think of, okay, maybe this character does not know the SDA specifically, but there's a reason to bring in this person as an ally to the SDA, and sort of eventually they can work themselves into the SDA. It sort of depends on how you guys want to role play it. It sort of also goes towards one of the things I was going to just figure out was like, okay, how will the SDA recruit Calvin? Like, is Calvin going to be a peer? Is he going to be a step below? Or are you like hiring Calvin and then potentially, you know, he's like, oh, this guy's really useful and we like him, you know, we're going to bring him in. It's just, you know, depends on, you know, you can go any sort of way with it.
Well, you know my vote.
do we though? What's your vote?
Yeah, what
Say
was
it.
your vote?
Leshy.
I don't know your vote.
My vote was Leshy. Leshy Ranger.
See, Druid Ranger.
Okay.
Because it could, like, we could potentially, 3 people can potentially know him in different ways, in my head, which would be an interesting thing.
I think
And it's just cool. We have a ranged character that's specifically range damage.
yeah, we don't really have a specific person that does that. Like, I guess Dakonga and Toby can do range damage, but you
The
guys are
spells,
kinda-
and it's not a
yeah.
focus
Oh,
thing.
too.
We don't have a physical. We don't have a martial or range character.
right.
Yeah. And to me, that's appealing, because then even if one of us, like, even if I run out of spells, he still has spells.
We're
Well,
never,
he is-
we're never gonna run out of spells.
That's true. But my focus is healing.
I mean, I
spells.
do. I do. I can run out of them very quickly.
Sure, sure. The,
Yeah, Megas is tapped
the,
out
the
at 4.
actual spellcasters, you know,
Right.
that I don't feel like in the way that we set up missions, I don't think we're really ever gonna be like taxed on spells.
Gotcha.
unless you do like multi-day missions
Yeah.
Travis,
Which
I don't know.
potentially could be a
if-
thing, but
for sure.
I don't know if I told you when I changed to the Oracle, I did change Obani.
I think you
Uh,
told me.
Okay, because like I changed her from I forgot the Protector one to the Wrathful Berserker.
I think so.
It doesn't really change the spells; it just changed the specific action.
Gotcha.
I would being 15 feet from her and she's up close. It puts me at a really bad like situation. So
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, one of the ways that I could see Calvin's character being known is like, this screams to me like Monster Hunter, right? So like, for
Palico
me-
wise,
well, not just Palico, but just like this person would be very in tune with leaving the city and hunting a monster in a forest or whatever, right? Like, that makes perfect sense. So I could see like the Shang-Chi introducing you, or Sunya, or, you know, potentially.
oh bro, Leshy's are spirits, right?
Yes.
Probably
Right.
know them too.
Aren't they?
I probably know them too within Spirit Realm.
Bro, you don't
And,
know
um,
every spirit.
And I'm a,
You could know 'em, yeah.
I'm
Could
a,
know.
I'm an elemental spirit because I'm a self heritage too.
Yeah, I don't know him then.
I don't know
Ain't part of-
those folk.
He ain't part of the rock or fire, so I don't know.
I mean, if Cal doesn't have any real preference, then I'll go ahead and switch to Leshy as well. I'll go ahead and throw my vote there.
Boom. 2 for
Boom.
Leshy.
I'll say Leshy because everybody else is saying it. There you go.
Yeah, that lets me say champion, but not like ruin it. I true to my heart and have voted for the cool trident bearing champion.
Go champion just because Maggie said champion. 3 to 5, Leshy.
There we go.
Dang, now I'm sad I didn't go with my heart.
Well,
I'm
I'm,
not-
voting
the
for
I knew what I
the
wanted.
monk,
Locked in.
so
I knew what I wanted.
The ballot boxes are closed. I can't change the vote.
nah, man. Like, we're not done. Like, if fucking
Wait, where's the cat folk swashbuckler build?
Yeah, that's back in Out of the Abyss or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, technically, I do have one of those.
No, no, Travis, no, CJ, you're not allowed to bring him up.
well, if that one's available, that's my vote. You know that already.
No, sir.
I mean, no, I think, but bleh, both Champion and Leshy, I think, are super awesome. Just looking at them, just like
You know
base
that-
stats, it looks like the Champion will be better physical. It looks like the Leshy is more resistant to, slightly less resistant to physical, but then better with everything else, which is sort of appealing.
No, I would stick with
Oh,
Leshy.
they did
I
update.
was just joking around. Like I think
Sure.
like the Leshy will be able to like give him more of a role in the party. You know,
yeah,
more of a role
I think
that
it would
fits
be a
his own.
very specific role that
exactly.
others aren't really filling, for sure.
I definitely
I
feel
think it
that.
sounds
I don't know
dope.
if this sways the vote at all, but I am trying to lean towards Eldritch Archer dedication at 6th level.
That's pretty cool to me.
Like I said, I didn't want to sway the vote. I was happy that everybody else voted the other way so that I can stick with what I liked, which was the champion, but not throw off the vibe everybody else was talking about, because I think they both would be valuable at the end of the day.
Big
And
facts.
That's a very
truthfully,
hard vote for me.
You know what would be kind of cool, Travis, if it's allowed and people like it. If like, what if we go to like soon, and we're like, hey, we need to recruit somebody, and then like one mission is with the champion, and then the next one is with the Leshy, and then we can like role play while we're at Machita and be like, you know what, I like this guy because it's blah 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 blah.
You want to take him out for beta tests and see which
Yeah,
one?
To me, I think that'd be kind of fun. I think that'd be, you know, we get to know them a little bit better, like up close, and then like it also gives a chance for CJ to play them in like a combat situation, even, and also in like a when a social one where we actually talk to them and stuff like that. And then we go out and do the mission, and then we come back and we'll be like, all right, we'll talk to you in about a week, and then we do it again with the next one.
I mean, I would say yes, but the way that our missions are, and especially
Set up,
since the
yeah.
next one is going to be the tower, like you're not gonna just take out a random recruit, you know?
On the tower, yeah.
So, like
I
with
think
that,
that if anything, if we voted Leshy. We're gonna go with the Leshy character. What if we hold Cal's build for the champion as an NPC potential?
Don't make me happy for no reason, because Travis will say no.
sorry, I
Travis
was
will make that an enemy now.
I was being handed food and had to stop listening. I missed all of that. What was it?
I said I was agreeing that as cool as it would be to be able to trial run them, I don't think it makes sense with where we are at in the story. But I said, what if, since we know that Cal's gonna go with the Leshy Ranger Druid combo, we hold the champion build as an NPC potential?
NPC potential for what?
Just having him in the world, like this champion that was human but raised by dwarves, and have him show up in one of our missions down the road somewhere. Just because he's cool and it'd be fun to see him show up in the world.
I mean, yeah, we could do that.
I'd be down for it.
We could
Just
do
an
that
idea.
and see him show up in the world and all that sort of stuff. It's not like that is not a thing that we can do or cannot do.
That would be my suggestion.
A lot
Um,
of characters we can have show up in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
I'm-
limitless amount of NPCs that can happen.
I'm ready for us all to go check out Lady Luck and say hi to Normani and tap into. I don't know why Yuko and I have not been to laundry night, just to like
Right?
laugh at it.
I gotta figure out where, like, that
What
would
character
be.
was I in that?
I don't remember.
Was it like Rex or something? Not Rex. It was a R though, and you were my brother, and I was Fei Lin, and I was like a bouncer for the Lady
Yeah,
Luck.
because me and Levi were doing laundry night.
No, you and Trevor.
And it was
Me and
Trevor.
Was it Trevor? God
Yeah,
damn,
it was-
it's too many games.
I would. So here's the question too, right? Is like, the next mission is going to be the tower, so it's like, all right. It almost makes the most sense for Pharaoh to come to you guys and be like, look, I got this person spirit thing, and I need them to be with y'all. Like,
what?
we gotta figure out some reason why Pharaoh would sort of plant this person in the group, you know? Because that's almost the only thing that makes sense for why you guys bring a completely fresh person into the SDA and then send them with you to your most secret and, like, dangerous mission. You know?
I mean, he is a ranger. Maybe he's been, outing us.
or not even necessarily that. And Travis, you can obviously shut this down if you don't like it, but like the whole way that the towers got fucked, right, was that one shot we did where we were all druids. Is there any potential to kind of tie that thing together where like druidic magic is what screwed this up? Maybe druidic magic
Well,
is
it
what
wasn't
helped
druidic magic specifically. The druids were tasked with something, and it was actually ancient one magic that fucked everything. They were duped.
Yes, I do remember that. I guess I guess I had interpreted
But
it as
there is some
like-
interesting shit you can do with that. Yeah.
I had just interpreted it as they got duped and the ancient one like tainted their magic. But if that's not really how it went down, that was kind
So
of my
really,
whole thought.
Like, what actually happened was essentially the crystals got switched out because the druids were actually kind of wilding out at that point anyway, because it was like, we're gonna blow some shit up. Well, fuck, were they? Hold on, I'm trying to relearn my lore. No. The crystals were what made the environment controlled and stable. And then when they were supposed to be replacing them, they were switched out, causing the explosion and the sort of unstable environment situation to happen. But an interesting thing, trying to figure out how much I want to reveal of the
Ooh, spoiler alert!
Stuff,
It's possible.
Well, I mean, you guys know that Fayril was there, and you know that she was being controlled during it, and then you know she broke that control. So it wouldn't be too many leaps for you guys to take to figure out that Fayril might be trying to make amends.
I
I mean,
what she's
from-
doing will
from a
make it
player-
an even bigger catastrophe.
Like the player knowledge, like our characters definitely don't know any of that shit.
Right, exactly. Player knowledge. Which
But
I
yeah, from
keep that
from a
shit
player,
to yourselves.
Yeah, from a player
Um,
perspective, that's at least what I was assuming. That's what she was, or at least she was like amped up enough against the ancient one, you know, pulling her chain that she's like, I'm just gonna fuck up whatever this guy's doing.
Yeah.
'Cause, whatever he was pulling on me.
So
Um,
I could see a scenario where she, like, this is sort of what I'm picturing. And Calvin, you know, you could tell me, no, that sounds fucking whack. I don't want that to be my character. But what I'm thinking is potentially one of these druids from way back in the day, either like reanimated or was placed as a Leshy, right? Because Leshies are spirits of whatever, right? So maybe one of the spirits of the druids way back in the day came back. They wanted to, you know, get some revenge on the Ancient One as well, and have sort of aligned themselves with the ones that are trying to make that happen. I could see
They've
that
created their own hunter.
potentially, yeah. Like it
I'm
sort
down
of
for that.
it depends on how you want to view your character's like soul in a way. Like you could potentially be a reanimated soul from one of the druids back then. You could be like a fucking crafted soul, as like we literally made this being as sort of an avenger of that time. There's a lot of ways you could take that, you know.
Yeah.
But you could potentially have sort of the mission be, for whatever reason, your character is sort of wanting to fight this war against the Ancient One. Now, that is one of the like key themes of my campaign, but it doesn't have to be what you want your character to be about. But if it's interesting to you, though, we can dive into that a bit.
That sounded beautiful. I'm all for that.
So my secondary follow up would be, it would make sense for why he would join them going to the towers, but why would he join them returning to the city?
Yep.
And joining in on all their ne'er-do-well bullshit.
Right. There is that. I mean, potentially.
I mean, we can do some Destiny type things. Like this is the group that I'm destined to fulfill the prophecy for or with.
Yeah, it sort of just depends on how much BS we want to make and where we want to apply it, I guess, right? Like, because you can only realistically explain so much of why a person is joining a pretty cemented group at such
Sure,
an
sure,
interesting time, you know. But yeah,
I'm trying to hit like a good portion of like, I guess what's the term? The suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
Because this particular character makes sense to me joining on the Hell Tower stuff, but it wouldn't make sense to me that they would stick around, I guess.
yeah,
I think we can definitely find like some, you know, reason. I'm just brainstorming it.
yeah. No,
you know,
for sure.
And you know, also just for future hooks for Cal's character in the city, you know, That way, it's not just bound to stuff outside of it.
No, 100%. And also, like, the other thing is I'm trying to sort of keep some storyline shit close to the chest that you guys aren't aware of.
Sure, of course.
So, like, I believe that Fayril is not acting alone, right? Like she said, the folks that she reports to or whatever, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
So how I'm sort of picturing it is that group is sort of who's in charge or who created or whatever, who pointed Calvin's character at your guys' group. And depending on if you guys want to go this route, we could say that they've sort of taken an interest in your group and see great potential, but they'd like to have like not like a ward, but
like insurance.
Yeah, like an insurance / like we want to make an investment in your group type of thing, So it's like we think you have good potential, so we'd like to install,
I like that. I like that angle, and I think with that angle, you wouldn't even have to have Fayril have introduced him. He could have introduced himself to us.
Right.
Long ago,
I think it just makes it's just simple. So we can change it, but it was simple for me to be like, Fayril's like, hey, the folks above want this one to go with you guys. Wants this one to be a part of y'all's group.
I think like if Cal's character had just like introduced himself to us naturally and ingratiated with the group normally, like just coming from Yuko's perspective at least, like she would be much more amenable to him than she would have had Fayril done it at the time that she would have done that, I'm thinking that she would have introduced him earlier in the past. I don't know if this was going to be an immediate thing right before the mission.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can potentially retcon that sort of stuff to what makes sense, where it's like, no, Fayril actually did. Or like, whenever Fayril was communicating with you guys, potentially Calvin's character is one of the ones that came through to do that.
But my thinking is, going off what you were saying before, was that Fayril's not involved at all, but that he just kind of introduced himself to us, maybe like by hanging out at the bar, or what may have, or maybe we even met him during monster hunts.
Yeah,
and
he saw us. Maybe he saw us in one of the hunts and was curious.
Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe he was like a passenger on the train coming to the city looking for a new adventure, and he saw us and kind of tracked us down at Mashisao.
Yeah, tons of ways for him to have tracked us down and just gotten to know us on his own.
CJ, what are you thinking? Like, what would be the purpose for your Leshy character to even be in this town, or would they potentially like to stay outside of town? Like, it is a Leshy and a druid.
I mean,
Trees don't belong on trains would apply.
Yeah, but say out of town probably makes more sense. But the reason to be going in is just, it could have been a prior meeting, and then having a like limited outside view understanding of what you guys do, what you guys stand for, and then realizing like we had similar goals, but I am not making the progress I need to be able to do on my own. So possibly teaming up with you can help
give and take,
further those goals.
Okay, so what kind of goals potentially would your character want? And then like obviously we have the manpower, which is what would help you out. Like what's important to your character at this point, so we can find ways to connect to your character a little bit better.
I mean, I like the spin of me being created to pretty much take them down, but also, I've been living my own life and doing my own thing. So just kind of looking for different ways to advance, I guess, to make sure that I can have the network and the tools to do what I need to be able to do.
So
reincarnated druid from the past that had to deal with the towers.
Well, either a reincarnated spirit or literally created in mind to go after the Ancient One by the people who were burned, you know?
And to basically to bring balance back, purify the lands from like the black tar or whatever. I'm assuming. Because like that stuff affects the environment, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like that's probably like a big thing for him. Like, not only like does he have this sense of self to like take out the Ancient One, but like at the same time protect what animals and the ecosystem that's around you now from those things probably. So yeah, I can see like, you know, we're the muscle. He's seen us specifically outside doing various things. He probably seen us go into the tower, fighting creatures and stuff like that. So
Well, I mean, potentially, like, you could have the group that's above Faeril, like, telling Calvin to essentially tail the SDA.
right.
And then, like, after he's seen you guys do so many things, he could try to introduce himself and ingratiate himself into y'all's group.
Yeah, that was my that was how I was thinking of it. Was that?
Yeah, and I like that
Yeah,
idea.
the
I think that's cool. Because it's not only that, you have an interesting connection with a freaking sprite. Both of y'all are like creatures of the Fae. Toby with Maxie. I don't. It could be. It'll be fun.
Yeah, no, CJ, we could talk about that a little more and see, like, how best we want to go over the scene of introducing, or sort of how much we want to go into that, or if we want to retcon some of that.
Yeah, we want to flesh it out.
Yeah.
But send me that link though.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's in Discord.
Oh, dang. Looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, it's just in your direct messages.
So I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. He'll be meeting us before we go to the tower.
Maybe. Well,
Or
I mean,
is it
he'll be at the mission at the tower, but
No, of course. I'm saying, or is this one of those things to where, with Theater of the Mind, he's actually been with us this entire time, kind of thing.
I mean, I think potentially it would make more sense to retcon that he's introduced himself before, and like he's
That
kind of
makes more sense
checked
to
in
me.
every once in a while. And
Because these ones
Yeah.
could be like certain missions that we've done without him, and then like we can pretend like we can have like scenarios where we did outside missions with him. It wasn't like a big thing for like our main events, but these are like side missions that we did with him where we connected as well. That could be kind of fun for like little side story adventures and stuff. And that could be another reason why we have like he's not in the main story until now. He's not canon until now.
yeah, he was in the filler episodes.
Yeah, that's potentially what I'm saying. So like Philip,
Yeah.
like say for instance we potentially met him after the Pookie Pookie fight. And then like maybe him and Minji did a little something on the side. Then him and Toby, like helping Toby and with Maxie with like some of his like primal abilities and stuff like that, and in the fights and everything. And then, you know, something with Yuko with like their cooking and stuff like that, because he's got like all these different ingredients from the outside because that's where he lives. And then like him and Yuko like meet up doing stuff. I don't know, just these are me just spitballing, but these could be like the little side stories that we're like, man, you know what, we need somebody who's ranged. What about blah blah blah?
Yeah.
Because he's helped me out when I was doing this, that, and the third, and those were the stories that, you know, we brought in.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just an idea, because then like we can all like have like cool personal side stories with his character, and then where it's just a comfortable transition to where it'd be like, you know what, we got a spot open and we need him. I think he'd be the best guy for it instead of Guy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that kind of scenario.
Hmm. How do you
Might
set
make
up
sense.
additional players? You remember?
You go to actors. Oh, you're talking about outside.
Like actual, yeah, actual like logins.
You got to go to game settings, and then I forgot which button it is. It's like it'll be like character something.
User management, maybe.
User, I think that. Hold on, let me do mine.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay.
And then you can add him from there, and then give him permissions and stuff.
Let me know when you're ready.
It should be good now.
You got him.
Yeah.
And then you just set up his character, and then give him permission, and then you can just add in that way.
The only thing that I would push back on is it's highly unlikely that you actually live outside of the city. Because it is very dangerous.
Is there like a park?
Yeah, there's going to
New York
be
City,
Yeah, there's gonna. I'm sort of imagining he's going to be located somewhere nearby where this group's sort of headquarters is. I just don't have that part specifically fleshed out. Yeah, outside of the city is it's pretty fucking sketch, which is why like essentially all of civilization is within the city.
Copy.
It makes sense why the Druid organization is trying to reclaim.
Right,
all
yeah.
This, story outside. I don't know
So
if it's a Druid organization, just whatever this organization is.
Right. Yeah, no, it would make a lot of sense for those of the Druid mind to want to reclaim the land for sure. I mean, you imagine being a Druid cooped up in a city for generations?
That'd be crazy.
They're going stir crazy, man.
I don't see any grass.
So that's a pretty good grasp on Calvin's character and where we're gonna bring him in and how he's gonna.
This is your own world, right?
Yeah.
Is there a particular deity that it may make sense for me to worship?
Let's see. I mean, all the deities are sort of basically the same.
You're still using
Plus,
the standard
like
2E
others,
deities, right?
I guess.
Yeah, because I'm using Ogun, and he's an Orisha, like an actual African god.
Yeah, pretty much any god that exists or that we want to exists here. So,
Yeah.
If you want to make one up, go for it, I guess.
yeah. Let's see. There's got to be some.
We're also using the ones, the Pathfinder deities too. So
You can always use Saren Ray.
You supposed to have a deity?
you don't have to. No,
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't have one.
Yuko doesn't.
I remember, what was it? Paladins you had too, champion.
Yeah, paladins were one, clerics are one.
Yeah, divine casters.
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
I have
yeah. Divine casters.
So yeah, there's not a specific one. We can look into that if you wanna get a little bit more specific with that. I did want to go over sort of the. Say again?
Oh, I was gonna say Erastil is like a nature god. Calvin, that might fit.
Oh.
Say again.
You said Erastil?
Yeah, Erastil is one of the nature gods I remember from Pathfinder. He's like a big old nature god that's super not about cities.
Man, I can't think of any of them.
The Green Mother, aka the Feasting Flower.
It is. There's a ton of them.
That sounds pretty.
Cetaphis. Trying to find one that's like nature and about like the sky or wind, because you're like the.
There's one where it's nature and sea,
Ooh,
isn't
maybe
there?
this one.
Gosra.
La Mancha? La Mancha gazes out of the world's coastlines, presiding over coastal waters, fishers, and flying creatures, also known as Harbor Wing. She believes in harmony between the seas, the skies, and the beings of the land.
What's her name?
It's fucking. Hold on. I'm gonna put it in the thing. La Mancha, I think is how you say that.
Dimitri, you did say Gozra, right?
Yeah. Gosra.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of that one too, because that one would have been cool for the
For the champion.
champion, because its
Yeah.
favorite weapon is a trident.
Yeah, Rastal's favorite is a longbow, but I didn't know. I don't think I saw what weapon the Leshy was using. I don't think I
Longbow.
Bow.
Erasmus would be the
A
best.
composition longbow, technically.
Oh, okay.
How?
Just need strength, bro.
That's a good point.
Man
Do you
said how?
Because like when I was looking at it, I didn't see you had strength. So I was like,
Oh.
how?
That's funny.
I mean, it may not be a composition.
It's a
Do not have
composite longbow.
Yes.
But yeah.
Why am I
Uh,
saying it like I'm a bard?
Where does he's got +2 strength. He's strong
Yeah,
enough, bro.
no. I was thinking of the monk. I was remembering the monk stats. That's all.
Actually, I don't think composite longbow has a strength requirement anymore. does
It used to.
I think it just adds half the strength damage, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it does.
So just a +1.
Because it used to be like you had to have like a 14 or a 16 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did also want to go over at least the ones that I am sort of highlighting in my brain for like quest lines. And so if these quest lines do not interest you, if there are quest lines that do interest you that I do not mention, just let me know. We'll talk about it. So I'm gonna go. We're in alphabetical order here, and even though Levi is not here, I'm still going to mention the quest lines for him that I'm looking into. Which sadly there isn't. Like, we just got the Toby lore dump, right? We need a dog lore dump. So I've got, for quest lines, more bounties, and I've got pairs well with the Konga's brothers murders investigation. But I don't have dog specific story stuff that I'm planning on diving into yet, which is fine. But we should have some more dog story down the road.
For sure.
We should think about that.
Definitely.
Dakonga, I've got obviously his brother's murder investigation, and then I've got the progression of summons through the astral plane battles. I think those are some pretty interesting things that we'll dive into with Dakonga. For Benji, I've got her climbing the social ladder literally. One of her biggest goals was to level up and get to the plates above, and live up there because it must be nicer, right? You know?
On the trash city.
That's right.
And the below.
And then the second one for her is going to be investigating Yuko's inner dragon, that we sort of started getting into the last session. I think that would be fun for her. Obviously, for Toby, we also had a sort of a
I had a
breakthrough.
comment and I was muted. I'm sorry.
You mother. What's your comment?
My comment is that I'm really excited about helping Yuko tap into her inner dragon because so far D is the only one that has like taken up my attempt to give myself the nickname of the White Dragon. So
That's
the
a
White
bad idea,
Dragon
though.
and the Toadstool
Wasn't Dog Day
Dragon together again.
Well, I had forgotten we hadn't used the nickname, and then you brought it up, and I was like, oh shit, I need to incorporate that. That's a great name.
I think it's really funny, especially given that she's like a foot tall, but
Absolutely.
she thinks she's a big dragon. Her.
That's right.
So
The
super
irony is how it
excited
works.
for that. That's all I had to say. Thank you for giving me my 2 minutes.
Those
She's
are
got her
great
big
thoughts.
dogs
Great
syndrome.
thoughts.
Didn't you give us all nicknames, Maggie?
I have been, although the Conga I just call the Soul Crafter, which is not the coolest nickname.
That's boring.
Right. So
The
we
Soul Crafter?
definitely-
Hold on. How badass do fucking nicknames have to be where the Soul Crafter is like not that tight?
Mundane.
I don't know. It just sounds like you're just giving me my title. Like that's it.
Sound you made me.
The Soul Crafter. So
Did
that's
you
what
just
I-
say? Hold on. Did you say I made you?
That's
That's what it sounds like.
That's what Alessi is, right?
Yeah. That would be wild.
Calvin's character was born when you and I were doing the crafting.
That'd be funny, actually.
That'd be funny.
The Soul Crafter.
That
Then-
actually would be I'm sorry to break.
Go
that.
ahead.
That actually is a pretty good idea.
Here's a thought that sprung to my head when y'all started diving into that. What if the combo of Maxi slapping the bass mon is really what produced this
Ooh,
new
yeah.
spirit?
I think that's
Remember,
actually
because he was part of the creation, so potentially Maxi tapped into something that Dekonga was feeding the vibe and
Right.
pulled out some spirit from the astral plane that needed to be here.
I like that. I like that. Created from good vibes.
Oh man, that's kind of cool.
Ooh,
What do you think,
We
Cal?
created a baby, me and Toby.
I like it a lot.
And
I
Maxi?
like to lie. Like,
Gives a little bit stronger of a
Connection.
reason for him to be connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig that a lot, actually.
Oh, we're gonna have to play with that.
Okay. Yeah, think on that.
maybe
Um,
Maxie was doing
Had to-
behind the scene things.
We'll have
Let
to
us knowing.
I have to retcon some of the scenes from last week, but that'd be all good.
It's true.
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah.
Maybe Maxie's trying to break his contract with me.
Oh, we
I
can't.
would
We
hope
can't
not.
get Maxi out of
Come on,
here, bro. Bro, why you
I'm
say
not-
that,
you
bro?
always
I'm
trying
not
to have
saying- I'm not saying it in a
contracts be
negative
breaking.
way. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying like Maxie, Maxie realized like, oh shit, like this Exodia dude, before he went off on his own, like I want to be my own, but I'm not gonna just walk off.
So you're saying it's like fucking Maxi's a free tree, and now he's here
Yeah.
by choice?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the worst idea. I do find the vibes in that to be alluring.
Because the only thing Maxie really did when we were doing the forges, I mean, he just, he wrapped himself kind of up on the handle some more. I mean, unless you take that off of it, maybe.
Dude, like maybe at that point, that's when a bud sprouted and we weren't paying.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Ooh,
saying. That's
yeah.
my thing. It's like
and
there
that's where
was so
CJ's
much,
characters came from.
right?
And
There
then
was so
he's
much
like,
there you go.
energy in the room
Yeah.
that you guys were pushing
Right.
into it. That like, yes, like it was some
Oh.
sort of fucking highway that brought this seedling to bloom. On
Yo,
Maxi.
picture this. Like that happens. Like we all leave for the moment, and then it's actually like DeCenzo or like one of my kids that finds him, and it's like the connection of family. And then like we're walking around, I see him with the Leshy and stuff like that. I said, "Where'd you get that?
What'd you get?
Where'd that come from?"
Yeah, because it would have to have been after. Because I mean, unless you do it in the storyline of where I ran out to go and get Yuko, and by the time we came back, maybe you had saw the sprout, and
Yeah, it could be that, or like
Well,
that's
that's
what I'm
the
saying.
thing, too, is, like,
maybe,
we
maybe
haven't-
it.
We haven't
Or-
finished that scene, so we don't even have to retcon shit. Like,
That's
one of
true.
the things I want to do before we get into the tower mission is finishing that scene, because Yuko's coming back and you guys all want to do some fucking forensics, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
So
And
yeah,
hold
so
hold on,
we
it
wouldn't even
wasn't
have to
just
retcon
Yuko
shit.
too, right? Didn't Maggie's character come along as well, or no?
No.
Yeah, we
No.
told.
And she
No.
was like, y'all handle that. I guess if
Oh, this
we
the
wanted to
Because Toby just
retcon
asked for
the-
Yuko, and Minji was like, I'm
Right.
kind of already mentally blasted right now, so.
Right, I just saw a spectral dragon that like twice now, and I don't even have the excuse of being on the astral plane this time, so
And I'm
like
not black.
excited, but Taking it all in.
I think that'll be fun. Like Yuko comes up, the whole Exodia scenario. We're all like, put that away, and we're talking about the stuff,
Mhm.
the head and everything. And then like at that moment, we're like, let me talk to the spirits. And then we look over, and then this like Leshy pops out of nowhere. We're like, where'd that come from?
I like that a lot. And in that sense, we don't necessarily have to tie Calvin's character to like the people above Pharaoh. It would just be a pure connection to you guys,
Right.
Yeah.
and then that way they have a reason.
Look, boss, look what we
to do all those
made.
things.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
guys are pretty good.
I'm just saying, like that
No,
was
no,
a
I dig
nice
it.
flow.
I'm with it.
I was inspired. I like that one a lot.
So
That's an idea right there. Yeah.
he's gonna be like our mascot.
Oh, you can't throw Maxie out.
I was about to say, man, you just
No,
don't
the
say that
truth-
around
the
I
Max.
mean, everyone's a mascot, sort of.
Look, Max-
right?
The
He
Leshy and the
graduated.
Leshy and the Edelon Leshy.
Where he's
Standing
like,
side by side. Heck yeah.
I feel like it just depends on the episode of who's like the main character and who are the mascots, you know?
That's fair.
In that moment, yeah.
Everyone
Right,
gets a
yeah.
time in the sun in one way or another.
And so additional quest lines, with Toby, obviously now we want to investigate his father's death and his Eidolon. And then also there is the Eidolon booster juice that Toby is now going to need to acquire, and then also the Maelstrom's interest in that and Toby, which is sort of a loose end that we haven't done much with yet. And then with Yuko, obviously we have the Shoichi revenge story, and then also the Sujihara metamorphosis, which I think are interesting things to dive into with her. And then sort of general SDA stuff is just like Pharaoh, the Black Fist, and then the war with the Ancient One.
Real quick,
I like it.
I'm not gonna investigate my dad's death because he just basically died of like. Well, I guess no, that is true.
What do you mean? He was beheaded.
Yep, I forgot. I totally forgot. I had him beheaded. My
Nah,
original
man, he
story
got
the
beheaded
original
because of
story
a
I had
bad
written
bet
down,
or
he
some
literally-
shit.
The original story I had written down, he actually just died of natural causes.
Yeah, fucking
Mo
axe
called
going through
me
the
out on
back
the
of his
spot,
neck.
so now I gotta update that.
It's like, nope, not natural causes. It
Well,
We need
Hey.
conflict.
yeah, we need conflict.
The head
Game
being
of-
buried in your backyard.
You came up with a good scenario. Let the DM make some fun story around that.
That's right.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Hey, man, hero point that DM.
Just like with the fucking Dakonga trying to say the brothers' murder investigation was already handled. No, it is not.
Oh,
No, it
God.
is not.
nope.
I thought I wrapped that up in a nice little bow.
That's right. We have not yet.
No, sir. We've only begun to untie it.
Yeah. All right, that sounds good, man. Next thing up is like, are we doing our downtimes now for builds?
That is not the next thing up, sir.
Okay.
All right. I did want to go over like RP scenes and stuff, and wanting to like emphasize how cool they are. Because obviously, like, I appreciate how much you guys are fans of like each other's characters, and just letting other players grab the limelight, and on occasion grabbing the limelight and shoving it in their face instead. Sometimes there's
Yeah.
been times where it's like, no, we need to, like, you know, Maggie's like, I want to figure out stuff about Yuko's character, you know? And so it's like sort of both of them, but at the same time, really, we're diving into Yuko, right? So I found that to be pretty cool. So I was just going to say, is there any merit in me sort of requesting scenes from folks where I think it makes sense, or should I leave a lot of that up to you guys? Like, for instance, what if I asked, particularly like the Minji and Yuko stuff? Like, I knew that Minji wanted to investigate the Sujihara and Yuko. Do you want me to let you guys sort of bring that naturally? Do you guys want to come up with that stuff on your own? I also thought potentially, like, say, and I'm just gonna use the Minji Yuko thing just as an example since it just happened. What if, like, Maggie came up with the idea of having that, like, just the real basic idea of, I want to talk to Yuko, or I want to research the Sujihara, and then I want to talk to Yuko about it, and she tells me that. Do you think there's merit to where I make that like a downtime action, but both characters gain like the hero points from that, you know, to sort of incentivize you guys to come up with cool like story RP scenes, and they can still kind of
Hell yeah.
be mechanically good for you, I guess.
Because
You know what I'm
not only that, like, think about like the Fire Emblem type stuff, and like when we build like the relationship stuff up, like gifts are given and stuff. Like, there can be various other things that we could do in that scenario, like help you in those kind of scenarios. We could also potentially help you make even more like cool custom feats for us too, or like combination things. And like, I know the hero point is like the easiest thing and stuff like that, but it's super easy. But at the same time, like, this also, I think it's a good idea, even if you bring in your own ideas, like, hey, I noticed y'all were doing this, but we didn't get to talk about it. Would y'all want to do it?
Yeah.
Like, still do that as well. But at the same time, I definitely like the fact that Maggie was like, I really want to know more about this, and then she went with it.
And I don't want to
like,
make it
both,
to where
both
it's like,
aspects are dope.
I don't want to say, okay, we're only going to do RP scenes during downtime and you have to invest in it to do your RP scene. Like, I don't want it to be that rigid either. Like, if you just have an inspiration, you're like, hey, I want to RP this out, or you're like, I want to go talk to Dog in his apartment because he seemed a little down. Just fucking go with it too, right? Like, I don't want it to limit your guys' inspiration in the moment, but I also want to like encourage you to think up like things that you do want to do RP wise.
Absolutely. No, I think like again, using the Minji Yuko scenario as an example, like in terms of like encouraging role play, like as a DM, you could like in the like you like right now Minji has gone to Sunya, right? So like later on after another like during another downtime, you know, like Sunya herself can come up to Minji and maybe bring up some information that prompts role play. Doesn't have to necessarily be like a direct like, oh, do you want to go and talk to Yuko about this thing?
Yeah.
Like here's
I think that's funny because I literally in my head was like, well, I need to go talk to Yuko now because otherwise Sunya might say something and then Yuko's gonna be like, why are you doing stuff too? So I have definitely had that exact same sort of thought. Like, there are potential repercussions in our world for doing these things, so I need to make sure I'm doing stuff in the right order. And so yeah, I think it would, like, just using that as an example, that would totally make sense to have Sunya add to that conversation at some point, because her interest was piqued as well or whatever. Yeah. And we can tie stuff in with everybody's stories that way.
Yeah, and that's just a very natural way of prompting the role play from the DM side, I think.
Hell yeah. Badass. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say was I appreciate how y'all fucking deal with RP scenes. I fucking love it. Like, yeah, I mean, last session, it was like my intention was to finish that fight, and then basically that was it, because obviously we were going to do this and then go to the tower. And it was like, well, we're gonna have 3 badass RP scenes all off the top. I was like, well, that makes my job as a DM pretty fucking easy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
RP days are great.
those are great, man. But yeah, yeah, Mo, if you guys want to go over downtime stuff now, we can. I do want to RP out the rest of that the scene with Toby, Yuko, and Dakonga.
Definitely, I'm for it.
I would
Say never not gonna get me to one RP.
No, I know. I would say let's do it next session.
And the only reason why I want to get the items done is so we don't.
Yeah, when you're
time
done with that, y'all can immediately transition into the tower for sure. I want to do a bit more fleshing out of potential discoveries from the forensic stuff.
Cool.
Because I'm actually really interested in this, you know. For Toby, it's funny because you have to like, oh wait, no, my dad didn't die from peaceful things. Because for one, I'm like, fuck yeah, Exodia, fuck yeah, fight pits, but also like it'll be really cool to introduce you guys to like the Oasis and just get like a different Parishes vibe for you guys to go fuck around in, you know.
What are you thinking the Oasis looks like, Travis?
Like,
I want to get your thought process so I can throw it into my like lure with it.
It's definitely like Egyptian inspired, but because it's not like technically in a desert, it's not exactly that vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would think a lot of the culture, where like a lot of the clothes that people wear, the foods, the music, all that sort of stuff is very sort of like Middle Eastern inspired. It's just sort of transitioned into a more like centric way, I guess. Like, because obviously there's the
Kind of like Ottoman Empire style.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously there's like the other cultures that like. The city itself, all the cultures have blended to a point. Like where we are is very much like Korean, Chinese, and Japanese inspired, but obviously there are going to be people from all different cultures just because the city itself is sort of a big melting pot. Like it's sort of been slowed by like the literal physical walls, and like for the most part these are very unique cultures, and you just don't get people that jump from like one parish to the other, like, you know, very easily. Just because, you know, it's natural for you to more stick around where you grew up. You know, you got family, you got friends, it's what you know. It's like, what does someone in the Oasis give a fuck about life over in the Grotto, you know? Like,
right.
If you got business there, sure. If not, for the most part, the majority of people just aren't going to move around. But yeah, like D said, bit Ottoman Empire. There's probably going to be a lot more of the like Egyptian god stuff there. So like Exodia sort of taps into that a bit. So it like one of the reasons why I want to wait is like I'm trying to figure out how wild Exodia is as an Eidolon.
Right?
You know? And like potentially you showing up with him, people know and like, oh shit, it's that fucking thing. Who is this little gnome? Like, you know? I'm trying to figure out what all that really means in story.
Okay.
But yeah. Of course, I mean we're a while away from actually going to the Oasis, but I do want to sort of drop the little cookie crumbs in the forensic stuff.
Trip going home.
5 equals.
But yeah, we've basically covered everything I wanted to cover, so we can discuss what you guys want to do with your downtimes, and all that, because I know there is tons of crafting things that you were wanting to get done before heading to the tower.
Well, and that's the thing. So, like, I'm making 2 armors, and we have a CL4 negative and a CL5 negative. I think I'm looking at this wrong for the Soul Shard exchange. For like, explain the chart for me again, because is it left side is the shard, or is the right side
So
like
a 4 is not
2
going to be able to exchange, but the 5 is.
That's what I'm saying.
A
So
5 you can split into 2 3s. So basically,
threes.
a
That's what I
5
thought.
changing to a 3, and the result is how many of those do you get?
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, and that's what I wanted to make sure, because like I knew I wanted armor specifically for dog, because we all established like dog needs that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna go in there without it.
Right.
So then that potentially leaves us one more, because that would mean I'm using both my downtimes to create both armors, which I'm fine with.
No. It's whoever is purchasing it. So really, it would be a dog downtime.
And if I'm not mistaken, you would need to make the materia for the
Right.
armor.
Yeah.
Not the
The
I mean, I
type-
guess you are technically making the armor, but the materia is what's
Right.
we
It's
need the
not
negative.
right.
For.
It's the materia type that makes the
The armor
what you're
negative.
resistant to.
Oh, yeah, then I wasn't getting the flavor. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
No,
I thought
it's-
when I was making the armor in innovations, like I was the one that was completely like making the whole damn thing.
No, I mean you
So
are
you-
making the armor, yes.
But I'm
Yeah, it's
not
just
burning my downtime for it.
Yeah, it's just so you don't
Correct.
keep burning your own downtime.
Oh,
So
that's
not-
cool. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. Who would I didn't remember who we were giving the other armor to. Was it Minji?
I
believe it's
assume it would
Yuko.
be Yuko, but
Okay,
as much
so
as I
both
would
are
like
front lines.
some,
Because the reason why I was saying Minji is because she's usually on top of one of them.
I mean that is true.
So
To be honest, I would be fine with Minji getting the armor because when Yuko uses her Drake Heart, she loses armor bonuses.
There's
So-
also the potential where you make the little hairpiece instead of an armor.
that's what because I didn't know if we were still messing with that. So I was like, I'm gonna save that for later.
Yeah, so basically, and you
I
guys
didn't
can
know if you had
decide
it
whether
ready.
it's worth it or not, but how I'm envisioning it is you basically make a weapon innovation for Minji, and how it functions is whenever she uses the little power to go have someone attack something, they would do that, and then they would get Minji's materia damage as added damage.
Ooh, baby, more
Okay.
damage.
So we would maybe want to put that as use the positive soul shard we have for that potentially.
Didn't
I
y'all
don't
use
think we
that
have
one?
any positives. Yeah, we already used the positives.
Yeah,
Oh,
this soul shard thing is definitely
The stash
old.
that we have are the 6 CL1s, the 3 CL2s, 2 CL4s, and then we have negatives,
Yeah, this whole
which
thing's
is 1 CL4 and then 1 CL5
Wait, when did we use the positive one?
to level up.
to level up.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
I mean, we could go back in time
Absolutely
and say y'all
not.
didn't do that, but
Don't do that. I just leveled everybody up.
Well, we totally missed that. That was the CL7 we burned.
yeah.
Oh, never mind then. Because I mean, if we use the negative for, but you said it was just materia, right? So we could put any flavor of materia on there though. So
Yeah. So like the thought behind it for the tower is there's going to be negative damage dealing things there. So you'd
Right.
want to have the negative materia in your armor to block that. And And then if you think you're going to do more damage with positive, you'd want to put that in your weapon. That's
Because if you want to get funky, we can make 3 armors or 2 armors and her hairpin. Because we have a CL4 that we can just burn for an additional armor for you as an upfront. Dog can get one of the CL3s that we're going to break down from the CL5s, and the other one can either be for Minji's armor or for her hairpin.
I'm saying I don't think armor for Yuko is useful.
Okay.
Because Drakeheart, I believe, would negate that. I believe it would negate it, but let me double check though.
We should add materia to the stash here. Because I think you guys
literally
had
just
some, no?
Yeah, we do. I was literally just about to do it.
Cool.
I was looking through the notes to see how much we had left.
'Cause I thought
Time
we
to
were
make some
saving
lightning
it to put on
materia.
one of
Go
the-
farm Toby's.
Because and then if that's the case, we can do armor for Dog, armor for Minji, and then give the hairpin to Minji too. And that can
Minji
burn.
loves that idea.
Yeah, because that can burn the CL4 and the CL5 completely, and we still have 2 CL4s if we want to add armor to like Dakonga or Toby or anybody else for that matter.
Yeah, I'm fine with someone else getting the armor if we want to give it to Minji. I think that works. Again, yeah, because she's always usually riding up front.
Yeah, and so yeah, like I think burn the CL5 to do the 2 armors officially,
Mhm.
and then use the CL4 to make Minji's hairpin. Are we good with that?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, cool.
So that burns 2 of my actions, which is fine. Do we need to have me use my extra third as an investigation for something specific?
The tower scape.
Okay. Then that would be my 3.
Cool.
Actually, I can take one of those if she wants to get the leisure for the hero point.
I always do, but
That third one specifically needs to
it has to
be.
be the investigation.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tracking. Well, I'll use one for as well to free up somebody else.
Okay, and then
Team player.
I just need to see the materia whenever you get that,
Yeah, I'm certain.
because I'm pretty sure I thought we were adding it to Maxi, but now that we're getting another person, we might want to put it on a bow.
because
Since-
Maxi
since
has
le-
materia on him. He has the fire materia on him.
That's right. And then I have the air one.
So I think we only had the air and the water one.
I'm
left.
seeing.
This
Like I
air
was
is
gonna get the air one.
water.
I didn't put it on.
I know. Didn't we put the air on Obani?
We were going to, but we never did yet.
Yeah,
I thought there was a reason why we didn't do it.
I'm seeing air, cold, and water as the last
Yeah.
one I notated that we have.
Because I know I want to put air on Obani because that just sounds cool for a wrathful berserker spirit.
So if that sounds good to you, DM, I'll write those into the stash.
Yeah, I think that's what you guys have now.
Materia.
So we can take away the CL5 and the CL4 though.
Both of the negative ones.
Yeah, because those ones are gonna be for the 2 armors and then the hairpin.
Well, if you want to make negative materia, you gotta use one of those to do that. Otherwise, you won't be able to make negative materia, and they won't. The other ones aren't gonna do anything for you at the tower.
Then I'm completely fucking confused. I thought that was what we
so
were doing.
It costs it costs the shard to make an armor. The armor functions the same as the weapon, where essentially you're making an armor that has a slot that you can slot in a materia. So,
so then
it's
we
the
have
essence.
to burn 2 for the armor and the essence.
Right. Yeah. There's 2 separate things. We got to use crystals for the armor, and then the negative crystals for the materia.
Right.
Is it the same way for her hairpin as well?
It's the same thing for all of these. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always armor or weapon and materia. They're separate.
Oh shit. So the CL5 is completely for the negative armor for dog then,
Well, I mean, it's
Oh.
not negative armor. It's just armor.
or armor that has the negative resistance, basically.
Negative,
Right.
just armor.
It would be we would be breaking it down to make the materia to slot into armor.
So like your CL5 that you're breaking down into 2 CL3s.
Yeah.
Once you use that to make an armor, the negative portion of it doesn't matter anymore. It just becomes the what are they called?
What do you need to make the armor? You need a CL3 soul shard.
Armor innovation.
Right, but that's just
So like you would need to use the 2 CL4s to make the armors, potentially, and then break down, I believe, the CL5 to make 2 negative materia, and then those negative materia will be slotted into the armor.
okay. So then we have 1 CL4 negative, whatever for the hairpin. To
I would
break-
say we would because the negative in the hairpin may not be like, unless you're like, because the negative won't transfer onto, like, if you're using that CL4 to make the hairpin, it'll just be a normal hairpin. It won't
Right.
have
What
the
level does materia need to be?
CL3.
It needs to be.
You
Yeah,
mean
'cause
what level does a soul shard need to be for the
for materia creation.
um
Can it be
level
any?
1? A CL1
Because it
will make
doesn't-
1 Mark 1.
No, so we can use one of the 2s. to make
Right,
the
and that's what I'm saying. So like, because we need that. We need. I get the 2 CL4s to make the armor just in general,
So
For both
basically
mini-
like
and then
from
the CL5
1
for
through
the
1 through
negatives.
4 will make a materia Mark 1. That CL5 you can use to make a Mark 2, which would be a higher resistance.
What would be the resistance for it? What's the difference from 1 and 2?
Basically it's 2 and 4.
So Mark 1 would be 2 resistance. Mark 3 would be
4
would be
resistance.
would be 4.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the reason why it's
Oh,
like
but see,
that
the
is because
resistance is double.
once you can make the better innovations, the amount of slots you'll have will be higher, right? So like
Mhm.
it would get exponentially wild if you had like, you know, a bunch of marks whatevers and you get up to like resistance 20 for fucking negative, right? So they have to be a little bit limited.
Oh, so for us to make a Mark II materia for the negative, we need to use the whole CL5.
Right.
Is what this chart is saying. Okay.
That might not be a bad idea.
That I think so too, because we're trying to keep dog happy and comfortable going to that tower.
And then we can
Regardless,
just
Minji's gonna get an armor, and then we can get her at least some resistance with one of the lower CLs.
and we could break down the CL4 to another negative materia, and it won't. I guess that's the big use, but it would give her the negative resistance if we want to do that.
Yeah, it'll break down to 4 of them.
Yeah, so
Oh,
if
shit,
you took both of those and made materia out of them, you would make 1 Mark II with the CL5, then you have 4 Mark 1s with that CL4 one.
Oh shit!
Because
that's-
then we could potentially put that on anybody else if need be. Just so we can get a resistance too Everything helps.
I mean, they'd have to have the armor though.
Yeah, no, so okay. The CO4 we're breaking down to make armor. So we've already got that. CO4 is out.
Yeah, the 2 CL4s are being used for dog and Minji armor. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
right.
So
There's
we'll
no
take
more.
that out now. The CL5 specifically is going to be used for the resistance materia Mark II for dog. So that's
Gotcha.
out.
Right. So on, racing now.
Yep.
And then
So-
the CO4 we are also breaking down into 4 negative materia, correct?
That was what I was going to ask. Do we want to do that, or do we want to add one more armor for somebody?
I'm fine with breaking that down because then we can just slot it into Minji's new armor, and we have 3 backup negatives for the next time we need to
Do whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So those are
So
fine as
then
well.
that's out now. So we got those. So Travis, I have to burn a downtime to put the air materia into Obani, correct?
Does she have a thing?
Yeah, we gave her an armor or a weapon thing last time.
No, you
Just-
don't have to. You
yeah.
don't have to do a downtime to slot it in. No.
No? Yeah, because with hers it gives her the trip. Or just the ability to do it. My stuff gives her trip.
So
What
just
is-
going
what
over
is
the
the-
material we have left, we have air, cold, water, and 3 negative material left after everything's been slotted in.
Yeah.
Unless you're slotting into Minji's armor with one of the negatives.
That's what that's what I counted one of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. You had 4. Yeah, 4 down to 3.
And you were slotting in the air one to Obani.
I'm slotting in for Obani, yeah.
Mark that.
And then that just adds a D6, right? Is that what that is?
Mhm.
Copy.
Is she an armor one or is she a weapon one?
She's a weapon one.
Okay,
I
yeah.
have it in her passives right now, weapon innovation.
Yeah, he had done that a few sessions back. That's why I.
Because
could've
that was
seen
the
you
one
slotted
thing,
it
like
in.
both me and Maxie could have it. It's just that only Maxie was able to get the other materia for it.
Okay, that's that one.
Do we have any heat?
You still do have that one for Tsukiyo. I believe you took down all the one from the bank. So technically, no, not really.
Just very light. Very
Yeah.
light. And then do we want to put cold or water on or negative on Minji's pin?
There is the thought that
She is the white
Um,
dragon.
so. Let's see. I know it says week 2 there, but I think that's a lie. I believe the Monster Hunt was actually week 3, wasn't it?
Yes,
So the tower would be week 4. So
that's correct.
obviously it's up to you guys whether or not you want to, because all the material that you're going to add for this 1 week is going to be gone at the change of the month. So just
Does
know that.
Does the materia disappear? I thought the materia didn't disappear. It was unless it was actually like installed.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. All this stuff that you guys are slotting in, that you're
I
like
got you.
investing in, is going to be gone at the end of the month.
That's right.
So that's
But
what
the
I'm saying.
whole
Like
point is that
potentially-
we're beefing up for this fight.
Yeah. No, I'm just
I
saying
care.
if you don't want to use like one of them, like there potential is to not beef up Minji, a ton because it's like, well, we already kind of beefed up the bit, and we don't want to use all this stuff that we have. I mean,
No,
obviously,
I
if you
remember-
guys want to go ham, then
I remember us discussing beforehand that because we were waiting for the big payday to be able to boost everyone up for the tower. That I remember that specifically being our plan.
Right.
You know, we were like, we'll just have to kind of eat the cost at the
Yeah.
end of the month for all of it.
I mean, if you guys farm a bunch of dudes, like, you can get a bunch of fucking materials after this.
We can try.
because
We're
we
gonna
still
have
got the
some
Palamon.
firepower.
Or is that a real hunt, Travis the Palamu?
That one was actually the Toby, and you've already done it.
Oh. Yeah, you said there'll be more bounties and shit. So
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always gonna be more stuff to do.
I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we give, and that's up to Minji, the cold because she's the white dragon, and white dragons are
I
cold
like it.
dragons.
You might give her like a big hit, and she's gonna need it all the time. I always
Hey.
need this cold materia. It
Yeah, I'm
goes
cool
my
with it. You the
diet.
boss. We trying to make you sit pretty on your steeds,
And they are such good steeds too.
aren't they? So yeah, I'm cool with because
Where are we looking at see this stuff?
Oh, the if
He
you
might
go
not
to the
have
journal,
yeah, I was gonna say he may not have.
Oh, the
Yeah.
missions, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
and then I was gonna say I can use both my downtimes for Obani and then also to retrofit Minji because she did her normal too, and then she also did for the Hellscape for the third.
That it is.
Not edit. Can't edit the sheet all of a sudden.
So, Calvin, you haven't been playing with us for all this shit, so a lot of this is probably going to be a different fucking language. So if you have questions, let me know. I believe this is the most up to date on all the rulings, so it should be what we're working with. But yeah.
I think most of it is on point. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, we're just spouting a bunch of stuff.
I mean, I know he's watched a few of the episodes, so it shouldn't be completely
Yeah, but
new,
I've
but
heard it. But
yeah. But if you haven't read it or played with it, then yeah,
Yeah, if you haven't engaged with it.
exactly.
Alright. Cool. So I think that's all the materia up to date. Where we got it. You know what? You know what I might do that makes. I'm gonna make another entry.
Or you wouldn't have to invest in those though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, so even slotting, I don't have to invest in downtime.
No. No, so like the creation of the innovations is a single downtime action spent by the person who is receiving the innovation. Slotting in a materia is like a single action in combat. It's not something you have to spend at all.
I
Like during
thought it was
downtime.
like a full ritual thing. Okay.
No. I mean,
Copy,
it's like materia in fucking Final Fantasy, bro. Like slot them in, slot them out, right?
Got you. I got you. Don't have anything for like crafting for the squad yet, unless they have something like I did for Yuko for the week. But I think I'll do one for the Hellscape too to get us there.
I think it's filled up already.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
there.
did you do one?
Mhm.
Oh.
So we
Okay.
have Minji armor, Hairpin and Tower.
I'm making a downtime
Oh, okay.
part in the stash, just so we can keep track easier on there too.
Sick.
So everyone can just put under there. I'm putting your name, and you just put what you're doing under your name.
I like it. The Shaanxi rep tier thing.
Yeah, you guys.
We
you guys
potentially-
are tier 2 now.
Oh, we are.
Yeah,
I was
with
gonna
that,
say,
with that
is there
last one
any
you guys leveled up.
is there any way like we can do downtimes to like increase those, or is that just through gameplay?
That's it's through doing the missions for them.
Okay, so there's like nothing else that we can do for like potential RP to where we do something for them on the side.
Not
Or, like,
really.
Okay. Just wondering.
There may be like RP events that happen because of your like increased rep with them, but it's not like you're gonna be able to increase it outside of like doing the jobs.
Copy. The Maelstrom Recon investigation. What is that?
It's the Maelstrom, bro, and it's you guys looking into why they were trying to kill Toby.
Ooh, baby, that's a lot.
Oh yeah. I forgot about the Maelstrom attacking us after Luther.
Oh yeah, they did
Those
try to
dudes
kill
are
me.
creepy.
Well, I mean, it was the group, but they pointed me out.
It's true.
Yuko will also do cooking.
Calvin, have you come up with a name for your guy yet?
I was trying to find a picture to inspire that, but it's pretty hard to find Leshies.
That's
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Maxie is a tree, so potentially you could just look like a tree, and we call you a Leshy.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of gonna have to go with.
Yeah, I want to show you a picture I drew for Levi ran the Spelljammers for one of our friends her birthday, and I made a plasmoid wizard.
Ooh.
And his name is Morph Mellow. His full name is Morpheus Mellow.
Marshmallow.
But
Marshmallow.
in the chat exactly, and that's his nickname, Marshmallow.
You get it, bro.
You get it, man. You get me.
I get it. I'm fluffy. I'm white. I look like a marshmallow.
And he's only about like 3 feet tall. If you're, including the hat.
He's adorable.
Thank you.
Kimo, when are you gonna start illustrating all of our wild SDA adventures?
I haven't decided specifically when, because like right now it's like I'm super into like the Bravely Default like kawaii type art. So it would probably look more like that at the
Where'd you
moment.
drop it?
Huh?
Where'd you put it?
It's in the phone. I sent it through text.
Oh, he's super cute.
Yeah, I mean, why can't we have kawaii SDA art, bro?
Yes.
I didn't
You know,
get it.
you don't have to dictate or depict our like more gruesome things. You can depict the cute stuff, like us helping Dog get through his PTSD episodes, and Yuko and Minji partying out at the clubs, and Maxie being a jungle gym with Konga and his kids. Like all of that would be adorable.
Good
Whoa, I
point.
found something.
Mo, why do I get Genshin Impact vibes from your marshmallow?
Oh, because I was definitely looking at some of the armor for it. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
that's pretty cool.
That's a cool Leshy.
Psh,
I didn't get it.
that's a
It's
cool
in-
It's
armor.
in Discord.
Discord.
Sorry, bro. We're
Sweet.
posting everywhere.
Right.
Keep
We're
up,
not
Calvin.
consistent at all.
Okay, now
Which one do you see?
I see them both.
I see the one that Travis did. I didn't see the one that you sent.
Mo sent the one on the text message.
I don't have anything in the text.
Bro, I got Maxie with his fucking fire sword.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Get it.
Oh, that's actually really sick.
That's awesome, dude.
He's like, tell me trees don't belong on trains again.
No lie, I don't want to switch out Maxie's that picture. That one is super dope.
There,
we-
I put
Hey.
Morph on the thing. Yeah.
It was all-
Well, guys,
I just-
it's fucking 8:06.
As we do, we get going and
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I kind of just realized that Yuko's cloak in her picture is very Toby Kadachi like.
Huh.
Yes, it is.
That'd be a nice little origin story for that.
You're gonna take my cloak from me?
We can say there's two. There's enough fur there.
Yeah, there's probably
Yeah,
enough there to
big ass
go around.
tail. Straight up. What's Inuyasha's brother's name?
Oh,
Sesshomaru.
Sesshomaru?
Yeah.